We are back to the 2012 USBC Queens, sponsored by Storm. And I am once again with Carolyn Doran-Ballard. Familiar face, it's like looking in the mirror. Now, you've had a chance to watch the girls practice. You just threw 4 practice balls on the pair. Is your game plan going to remain the same? Do you see any changes?
Right now, I don't see much of my game plan changing. I've been trying some new balls that we drilled up earlier this afternoon. Still playing the same part of the area, but actually maybe even a little further right. Seems like there's some carry down. So we'll see what happens. I need to make 10 good shots.
In the 10 good shots, though, do you feel any butterflies? Will good memories come back to you?
I'm going to put myself in a good place, and no matter what I do, I'm going to try to have some fun.
Great. Good luck. Dave?
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. On the stepladder, we had Liz Johnson won match number 1 with an impressive 268, but Deandra Asbady pushes her aside, 233 to 191 now. Deandra Asbady and the number 2 qualifier, Stephanie Nation. And Stephanie will lead things off. She bowled collegiately at UCF, University of Central Florida. She lives in Grand Prairie, Texas. That's in the hood here, not far at all, neighborhood. And this is the first time she has bowled the Queens on television. And a little bit of a flat 10 to start things off here. She has won a couple of PBA Women's Series titles as well and has been a member of Team USA for 8 straight years. Key, what about some keys for for Stephanie?
Well, Stephanie averaged 227 all the way through match play, out-averaging everyone by over 12 pins a game. She needs to play to her strengths. She's very good at creating a lot of heavy roll and angle down lane while pushing it through the front. She's a very good straight player. I think she can take advantage of that with the other 3 players on the show also playing to the right, and then Deandra being to her left.
Now, Stephanie has some experience in match play with the player directly above her, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, and Deandra Asbady. Explain that in a moment. She defeated Deandra 697 to 550, probably the worst set that Deandra had in the entire tournament, but lost to Carolyn 596 to 592 in the match that determined who was number 1 and who was number 2. And that sent the loss to Deandra, or by Deandra, sent her into the roll-off 3 games among 4 players to fill out the rest of our stepladder. And big break there. Instead of a sleeper, she's just going to have to deal with the 8 solo.
As you watch this one, it crosses the arrows just a little bit right of where she wanted it to. The head pin goes to the wall, comes back around, hits the 4, which goes into the 2. Nothing hits the 8 to crumble the bucket, though. But some 9s are better than others. It's much nicer to shoot an 8 pin than a 210.
Every one of our bowlers on this program is successful in college. Liz Johnson bowled college 1 year at Morehead State, was the MVP. Joe Ciornas, 2-time national player of the year and national champion. Deandra Asbady, we're watching now, 2-time national champion. Stephanie Nason, outstanding at UCF. And Carolyn Doran-Ballard, 3-time All-American and 2 national titles. However, she wasn't player of the year. So.
Well, yeah, obviously the underdog. There you go.
That's what you expected from her.
Well, and that's her ace shot right there. It comes off her hand at a different rev rate. It was 30 points higher, according to our cat set in the shot before it. That's the really good one.
Same equipment then from the last game?
Yeah, she's using a Storm Marvel. The higher pins, a low RG ball, a clean cover. Gives her some mid lane and a lot of back end reaction. Plays right into her strengths as well.
Wide right.
Stephanie likes to hang loose a little bit, but it's awfully tough to do when you get on television. Those first couple of shots, you get moving a little bit fast. When she gets going a little bit forward, comes off her hand early like it did the first shot, online, but not quite where she wants rev rate wise. That one she got forward a little bit earlier and it got lost it to the right. I expect her to settle down, though. This is a free shot for her to settle down, get her feet back underneath her, and then the 3rd frame will be a good shot.
No problem in covering that. Well, Stephanie Nation understands as well as anyone as she seeks her first major championship how difficult this format is to capture the major.
Queens has been my toughest event that we've ever had. The format is really challenging. You know, you can bowl well all week and you get 2 bad crosses and you're out. So I think the format is what makes Queens probably the toughest event that we have.
Roll it did, 10 straight back. And the first strike for Stephanie Nation.
And that will settle her nerves. Now she gets into a little rhythm. It's all based on upper body position for her. She gets going and she gets too far forward, loses her leverage, and then shots go offline. She stays back and stays centered like that. Really good.
And the messenger is not going to make it in time.
We saw this just a little bit earlier, right at the end of her last match, where the 6-pin was having a hard time getting out of the gutter and hitting the 10. Her ball's not getting enough traction. It's not going through the pins quite enough. One of Deandra's strengths is she's pretty good with speed control. She can get slower and open up the lane more. The question is whether the lanes have opened up enough to catch the ball as she throws it to the right yet.
No trouble with that single pin conversion. On Wednesday night, ESPN's regular season coverage of the NBA concludes with a doubleheader. It all begins with the Kia NBA Countdown at 7:30 Eastern, and at 8 Eastern, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul and the Clippers visit Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks. And finally, at 10:30 Eastern, Tony Parker and the Spurs take on Steve Nash and the Suns. The NBA on ESPN, ESPN3, and also live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. It's Wednesday night.
Got a chance to bowl with Chris Paul once in his event. One of the nicest, most grounded guys for a superstar you'll ever see.
Look, it did. Her bowling ball is doing a pretty good job of listening.
It's nice when they mind like that.
How about that? Does that happen all the time?
But this is a product of being in great position at the foul line. She does get it further right than she has at any other point. And it makes a bigger move through and cut through them that time. That will relax your nerves as well.
Oh, that won't. 4, 6, 7. She's missed wide right earlier. This time she goes right through the nose.
Yeah, she got this one. She actually kind of double crossed herself with her feet. She got going and came over the top of it with her left foot and then had no choice but to shut her shoulders down to get it back on line. A rare mistake for her. She has great footwork and great position at the foul line most of the time.
Just hammer those 2 pins for the count and hope for the best. Well, Stephanie is quite the athlete. Earlier this year in January, she ran the Disney Marathon in Orlando. That's an area that she's very familiar with. She went to college here and is from there. Now she's training.
A lot of time left. Come on.
And she's right, there is a lot of time left. She's training to do the half marathon and the marathon in the same weekend.
Yeah, I've often thought about that same thing.
I'll be happy to drive 26 miles with anyone. And I'll run the .2. Maybe.
Talking about the Wii, right?
Beautiful.
There we go.
Come on.
Close match. We kind of expected this. Both these ladies trying to get that first major championship. They've got glittering resumes. They've been successful at Team USA level, successful at regional level. They're winners, but everybody wants that tiara.
So far, we're looking for our first strike on the right lane now in frame 5 of the semifinal match.
Okay, there you go. Here's Corbett Austin as Vice President of Operations of Storm, sponsor of our event. Also, I do want to give a shout out to the AMF Euless Lanes, our friends just down the road here, who provided the qualifying house, and a particular shout out to every bowling house around the country who has our telecast on. We thank you for keeping an eye on our sport. Good shot is right. It's pretty interesting, some of the commentary that we're getting from the players themselves. Deandra Esbedi knew that shot was good, and it gives her 3 strikes in a row and a leg up on Stephanie Nation for the right to play Carolyn Doran Ballard and the right to play for $20,000, the tiara, and the USBC Queens title.